Good morning, everybody. Hi, it is 10 o'clock on the dot, and I am here. I'm trying to learn to be consistent in everything that I do. So, give myself a hand clap for being here. Hi, my name is Sedaria August. I am an integrative health trichologist with Cultivated Roots Wellness Salon in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Do not worry. If you're not in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana or the Gulf Coast area, we pride ourselves with our virtual coaching that we do at our salon. So this is why we're here today. We're really coming to educate people on the benefits of using functional medicine testing in order to help our clients who come to us with hair loss, hair thinning, scalp issues. We want to be able to effectively meet what is going on with them. And sometimes, especially for beginning trichologists or wherever you are in it, you see an issue and you want to throw the kitchen sink. I say that old saying, throw the kitchen sink. I'm going to throw a lot of different treatments and protocols, hoping that one of those sticks. But this is the issue. Our clients have limited time and they're not going to waste all their resources on trying to find a fix for their problem. So we want to be able to go in and identify what the issue is in such a manner that we can have a laser cut focus on where we are going or what we are going to address, right? So let me get into this. So I have a client, and we're going to keep all the information as vague so we can, respect her privacy. But this client, she is a woman. She's in her 50s. She is still working as a professional in the human resources department. And she came to us because she was having issues with hair thinning. You could tell the parts were getting a little bit wider. And she just noticed some changes in her hair, especially in her temple areas of her hair. So we do this comprehensive consultation where let's be honest, some of my clients don't like our consultation forms because we're really going to try to get a lot of information. So we do this comprehensive consultation form where she puts all this information in. In addition, we do a physical examination. And again, like we say, even if you're not in the Gulf Coast area, we do have means of getting very good data and information through virtual consultations. So we did all this information, but one of the key points as I'm looking at her scalp and noticing what she's telling me, one of the things that we noticed in her consultation form is that she hasn't had a cycle in 13 months. Now, to be clinically diagnosed with menopause, you have to be without your cycle for at least 12 months, right? 12 months. Hit the wrong button. 12 months, no cycle. So she hit that menopause area. So we already have, antennas up. Haven't had a cycle in 12 months. We're going to be looking at some hormonal issues here. But she's also had some other issues that we gathered from the consultation form. And this is one of the functional medicine point of view, how we address hair loss and scalp disorders. So we look at hair loss as a symptom and not a condition. We look at it as a symptom and not a condition, right? So this is a symptom or symptomatic of something else going on inside the body. And what we say is that we're looking for the imbalances, which are the root causes of the symptoms that are manifesting physically on your hair or your scalp. So in talking to her, in addition to the hair loss, she was talking to us about issues with insomnia. She talked to us about issues with weight gain. All of a sudden, just put on a lot of weight. So again, if we think about the symptom of hair loss, we understand because it's a symptom, it's not happening by itself. Okay? So when we approach the consultation, we're not just going, okay, hair loss, Let's just focus in on that. No, we want a bigger picture of what's going on inside your body. And when we look for other symptoms, we can find what is presenting along with that. So what was presenting along with her hair loss was weight gain and insomnia. So now we want to look at that and we go, okay, this gives us a more clarification of we're looking at a hormonal issue. Now, hormonal issues, say, okay, let me just go out and buy. There's a lot of vitamins and a lot of supplements that are being promoted on social media for hormones. So let me just go get one. No, we don't want to do that. Remember, we don't want to waste our clients' time and we don't want to waste our clients' money. What we want to do is be able to have a very effective protocol developed on the first run. If we have to make changes to it in the future, that's good, but we want to be able to address the issue. So to understand what is going on with her hormones, we suggested that she would participate in functional medicine testing, and we went over two of those testing with her because we understand that your hormones are your communicators in your body, and especially with menopause or around that time, estrogen and progesterone levels start to decline. You start seeing with estrogen, you start seeing thinner hair, slower growth of hair. I don't know if anybody or you know anybody who has experienced that. So, and in conjunction with the estrogen and the progesterone decline, androgen levels have a way of going up, and what androgen does is makes that hairs that are it's sensitive to DHT start to thin out. So you start seeing some things like female pattern hair loss and hair loss in the temples. So in order for me to find out, like I said, we talked about two tests, and these two tests that we discussed with her, one of them is a test, and if you're live with me on YouTube or Facebook, you'll be able to see this. We talked about the stress, mood, and metabolism test. Now, I like the stress, mood, and metabolism test because, again, there's a lot of information we need to know about the hormones. Hormones have a way of acting like dominoes. They have a domino effect. One goes down, all of them going to go down. So one imbalance can have the ability to cause an overall imbalance. So we suggested this test to her because this test, we suggest this test for any of our clients who are dealing with unexplained weight gain, mood imbalances, brain fog, puffiness, hair thinning, low libido. We suggest this test to them, and this test for me as a practitioner a better comprehensive snapshot of what's going on with their hormones because it tests the estriol, which is a form of estrogen in the bloodstream, progesterone, it tests testosterone, DHE, cortisol, vitamin D, it tests the thyroid, and it also tests insulin and hemoglobin A1C. And these are very important. I'm going to tell you quickly why. Why do I need to know about cortisol? Usually, menopause can have a stressor effect on the body. The body sees it as a stress. In conjunction with all the stresses you have with everyday life, cortisol has the ability to stay up in high levels, which will cause an imbalance in your estrogen. And not only that, imbalance in your blood sugar levels have an adverse effect on your cortisol, which will cause your cortisol to, again, remember, this is an intricate dance that is going on with your hormones, right? And again, with so many little things that could go wrong, I don't want to throw the kitchen sink. Again, you're going to keep hearing me say that. I don't want to throw that at my client. I don't want to overwhelm them with protocols that they may not be able to maintain and see the benefit of because I'm just shoving a whole bunch of stuff at her. So when we test those things, I have a better comprehensive view on what's going on. The next one option of clients may have is the Women's Wellness Functional Medicine Test. also test the same things, but there's something different with this one. So if I have a client and she's having hair thinning, but she also has low mood, irritability, irregular cycles, and weight gain, that may be a good test also for it, but it doesn't give me an overall understanding of what's going on with what I need to have as far as the information I need to be able to help her develop a protocol for her hair scalp issue, because it only tests for estradiol and progesterone and cortisol, right? And it doesn't have thyroid in there because, again, in this dance of hormones, we also know that thyroid plays a very key important role in your hair loss issues. So I need that information. So we talked about those two tests, and she did choose to go ahead and get the first one that we talked about, the stress, mood, and metabolism test. And what it did for me as a practitioner, it kind of like, again, it gave credence to my impressions of what I saw. And what I saw from the consultation form and discussing the information with her, it allows me to see that yes, we're on the right end. We're going that we see now what is going on with your body. So let's kind of get into this. I'm not going to show that form because I didn't. My apologies quickly, because I didn't, take any names out, and I want to keep her privacy. So this is what we learned from the stress, mood, and metabolism test that she chose. We learned that her estrogen levels were low. They were deficient. This is an important thing to understand, again, because estrogen plays an important role in the hair growth and maintenance of your hair. The best way to talk about it or give you an example is to think about a woman that is pregnant and her estrogen levels are high. And with high estrogen levels, you'll see, pretty nails, long growing hair. That's not because of the vitamins, okay? That's not because of the vitamins. That's because of the level of estrogen level. So as estrogen level is high, and especially in your youth, you might notice that you do have, you cut your hair and you'll see faster growth. But as you get older, as that estrogen level starts to decline, again, I will show you this picture on here for those of you who are following on YouTube or Facebook Live. You'll see that as a person begins to decline, there are changes. So as you get older, we see a lot of women, they sit there and they make these comments about, and I've heard it before, and I just shudder when I hear it. That's just part of life. You get older and your hair just gets thinner. That's just part of life. I'm that kind of person who's not going to accept that. I'm going to find out what kind of braking systems are in place, natural braking systems that can slow those processes down. So if we're not supporting a lady or a client with those levels, yes, she's going to see the hair thinning. She's going to see all those things start to happen with her hair. So the hair, the stress, mood, and metabolism functional medicine test is a home test, and it collects blood and saliva. And there are reasons why you want to be able to do both of those, okay? So blood tests are the most common form of hormone testing, and it measures the hormone levels in the bloodstream. So it provides a snapshot of hormone concentrations at the time that you took the test. All right, a snapshot at the time. But again, you just take the test at a few minutes of a 24-hour period. So we want to be able to have a more better understanding. But a blood test will give you reliable information, and it can detect whether or not you have what's going on with your free and bound hormones, okay? But like I said, it doesn't give you a comprehensive look about what's going on throughout your day. So the saliva test gives you information about the biologically active fraction of the hormones, right? And because you're collecting that saliva throughout the day, and I think what this test is collected throughout 3 days, 3 times during the day. So it gives you a comprehensive understanding about what's going on with your hormone levels throughout the day. And it's a very good measure for your cortisol, your estrogen, your progesterone, testosterone, and your DHEA. Your DHEA. So we do that, and again, we talked about how your hormones are like dominoes. So let's get into it. So we talked about how her estrogen levels were low. Her estrogen levels were low, and we already discussed about how that affects the overall part of your body as far as the growth and maintenance of your hair, right? Her progesterone level was low, okay? And that has something to do with the weight gain that she was seeing. And that's one of the good things about coming to a trichology salon that deals with integrative and functional medicine. You want your hair, right? But we're going to help you leave out of there, hopefully with your hair and ability to lose some weight, get an overall better feeling about yourself, right? So not only that, her testosterone and her DHE levels were low. They were low. So again, she's in deficient level. And I'll get into what we do and how we educate our clients about information like that later. Cortisol levels were like a roller coaster. Your cortisol levels should be higher in the morning to wake you up, and it should slowly go down. But if it's doing a roller coaster ride, there's some issues with your adrenal glands. There's some issues with your body's, your blood sugar levels. So these are things that we have to look at. Overall, thyroid was okay, but on a functional level, we say that she is hypothyroid. Again, another play on why she's gaining weight, an issue also with her hair thinning. Insulin levels were good, but her hemoglobin A1C shows that she was hypoglycemic. I'm going to do something about that, talk to you on a separate live about intermittent fasting and women who are having hormonal imbalances, because again, this client is a client who was dealing with intermittent fasting, and it was adversely affecting her body, her hormone level. Vitamin D levels were good. So what do we do with this information? We understand that with low estradiol and progesterone, testosterone, the level where she is, we give our clients two options by educating them in two different avenues. An avenue that we can help guide them, and an avenue that they might have to go to their primary or another specialist to go. Because again, our primary goal is to help educate our clients to become champions over their own health. So I'm going to provide you the information so you can make the best choice. So this is what we talked to her about. We talked to her about developing a plan using nutritional supplements to help support her hormone imbalances. Now, based on what we saw on her testing, what we did was give her, first and foremost, we put her on a supplement called Adrenal Soothe to help with the cortisol level. We put on a progesterone support also. Now, one of the good things about the progesterone support, it also has supplements or nutrients that can also help with the estrogen. Okay? So we did that, and we also put on DHEA supplement to help with her testosterone level. This is what we discussed with her as far as the supplement, and this is what she decided to begin to use, and we will go back and retest in 12 weeks. We did this, but we're going to, in part 2, we'll talk about the lifestyle and nutrition changes we also was part of our protocol. But our first goal is to look at the nutritional supplement part of how can we support your body in order to help get those hormone levels back to not normal level, not as when you were young, but balanced enough to be able to maintain or slow down the issues that she's having with her hair. Now, in doing that, let's get to the trichological side, right? That's the integrative functional medicine side. We looked at what's going on with her body. We determined what her body needs and what supplements she can use. And before I forget, let me go on and just tell you what the second part we educated her on. We educated her on the benefits and the pros and the cons of using hormonal replacement therapy, and suggested to her that based on what we saw, this is enough information to show us, based on the information we saw with her decline, it's enough information to say that she may benefit from going to a doctor and looking at to hormonal replacement therapy, right? But she did not choose that. She's going to try the supplement and the nutrition and lifestyle changes for the first 12 weeks, retest and see where we are. So let's get to the trichological end, because again, that's what our foundation. We are a trichological salon. Well, we're an integrated salon that specializes in trichology, right? Hair loss and scalp disorders. So based on that, there is a trichological end. What do we do? Now, in our salon, we'll educate you about the uses of minoxidil, but we are not proponents of minoxidil in my salon. So we don't do that. But what we do, based on the levels of what we did see on one of her graphs, talked about androgens, and I mentioned that to you before. She does have, and her androgen levels seem to be increasing. And we know that androgens promote sensitivity to DHT, right? And that is seen, that's the sensitivity to DHT is what's seen in male pattern baldness and female pattern baldness. So we did put on a hair supplement, or suggested a hair supplement that did have androgen blockers in it. And some of you may be aware of those androgen blockers. One of those is very popular, saw palmetto, right? So we did that, and we also put her on a line, holistic practitioners of trichology line that I use in the salon, and we use that also. I will put that information up on both our Instagram and Facebook pages. So we put her on that, and the program that we put on there is the shampoo and the conditioner, but we also put her on the cell food drops also. So in conjunction, we're giving her hair and her scalp what's necessary for it to be healthy. I use those products, and I'm not even having hair loss, but I use those products. Again, it maintains healthy hair, but based on her needs. And this is what I want to go away for part one. We develop a protocol based on the needs of the client. So yes, we have these trichological products that we chose from the line to help her with her hair loss, but she also needed hormonal support. And because she needed hormonal support, we ran the functionalness testing, and it told us what she needed support in. And we've given her the support for her progesterone, DHEA, and her adrenals. Next time in part two, we're going to talk about the issues of how we went over the information about her intermittent fasting and how it is affecting her hormonal balance. And we're going to talk about what is the suggested meal plan, or how her meals should look for a person who is going through menopause. One of the things I hear a lot on social media, and it's very true, you cannot lose weight in your 50s like you did when you were in your 20s. You got to be able to adjust and understand what is going on with your body. Not only are we going to discuss the nutrition end of our protocol, we're going to discuss the lifestyle changes. As far as her exercising, did we increase it? Did we lower it? What did we advise her to do as far as that's concerned? Her sleep patterns, and finding spaces and ways and things to manage stress. Overall, how do she manage stress? So these are all things that we're going to discuss in part two as we look at the case study of how we develop protocols for clients with hormone imbalance. If you have any questions or any suggestions or anything that you want to know about, please DM me. Again, part of our mission is education. So please, we love questions. We want to be able to find out the information to help others. And remember, part 2 is coming up. Okay, so if you know somebody who could benefit from this information, or if you're going through situations with different types of hair loss or scalp issues, follow us. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube to be able to stay abreast of all the information that we will be going over. Also, stay abreast to any information that changes in our hours and the services that we will be offering. In the next month, we will be into research. I am starting my dissertation process, so we'll be the research process in the salon for at least 6 months, but we have minimized our services, which I still believe are very good. And we also put a cap on the number of consultations that we would do each month based on the research that we're doing. So to keep this wheels rolling, right? So again, my name is Sedaria August with Cultivated Roots Wellness Salon, and I thank you. I thank you so much for joining in. And again, questions, send them to me, then we can make them a part of our next live. All right. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Goodbye. Part 1, semicolon, case study of hormonal imbalance and hair thinning, period. Join us next time as we go into part 2, comma, talking about nutrition and lifestyle changes. Thank you for joining.